Hi, my name's Patrick McKinnon. I'm the principal of Place Ascot and Place Nunda. The reason I got into real estate, well, I needed to make some money, and I was sick of being a butcher and sick of working for Harvey Norman, and wanted to create my own life and be in control of my own destiny. Predominantly, I was looking at having a child, and I was in real estate already, but I was in off-the-plan property sales. And to get into residential real estate, I actually went to a Tom Panos training session up in Darwin, and I was up there selling off-the-plan properties. And I never thought about starting a residential real estate career in my life until I went to that seminar, and Tom was talking about how people were earning $1 million a year and doing all these things, and I was blown away. And I was looking at having a child with my partner and wanted some stability, and I was traveling around Australia, and I was just blown away by what Tom was saying and what these guys were writing in figures, and I was just like, yep, that's going to be me. So next minute I went to an Eric Thomas thing and watched that with Glenn Twiddle, and away I went on my little journey. Next minute I wrote $750,000 GCI first year in real estate. I already had a very good sales background my first year in real estate, coming from off-the-plan sales and Harvey Norman, but residential real estate was very odd to me. I started in the office and I was sitting there like a telemarketer, which is the worst part of the job, and I wasn't very thrilled with it. But what I didn't understand was these real estate agents didn't have a buyer disposition. They had a selling disposition, and I guess the issue that what I had is when I sold off-the-plan property, I had heaps of stock and no buyers. When I got into residential real estate, they had heaps of buyers and no stock. And what the issue was is these real estate agents were walking around. I'd be going, I've got a buyer that wants to buy in Wavell Heights for $700,000. They go, and they'd laugh at me and go, oh my God, you idiot. There's so many that want to. So the difference is between me and what I did was I nurtured those buyers. I did a lot of buyer work, took those buyers through homes, sold them houses off market, and suddenly, we did $750,000 first year because I had a buyer's disposition. So I laugh at, I guess, a lot of people that say that you can't be successful first year in real estate. If you want to be successful in real estate first year, and you're willing to do the work and you're willing to nurture buyers and nurture people and get a lot done off market, you can do an amazing amount of business first year just by servicing buyers. I think the least part about the least glamorous part of this job is the mobile phone and the toll it takes on your family and your friends. And over the years, it's cost me a relationship to a degree. It's affected my current relationship. It's affected my child. And I think as I get older and as I get better at it, I think is having presence in and being able to condition, I guess, your clients that these are the times I cannot be on the phone when I'm with my daughter. These are the times on weekends that I can't be because I'm with my partner. And I guess setting those boundaries with your clients and your buyers that you can make it a job, because otherwise that phone will consume you and it will take away all your presence of your friends, and you can actually be very disconnected from people because you have no relevance in their life because you're not there. You're just sitting at a table looking at your phone, checking realestate.com and people's lives, whereas you really need to be, they need to know when you're at work, and when you're at home, you're at home, and set those boundaries with your clients and your friends and your buyers. And my partner and I have a bit of fun on a Sunday, and we won't return a phone call no matter what the phone call is until about 2:00 in the afternoon after we've been to lunch and we've had a nice day, and we'll call a couple of people back and we'll have a little jokes about who's calling and who's doing what. But I think that's probably the biggest thing with this job is the phone can control you. You've got to let it not control you. You've got to set boundaries. My superpower is definitely energy. No one can beat me for it. No one can touch me. Everyone talks about the 5 a.m. club. I hate the 5 a.m. club. I'm more of a 5:55 club. But energy is everything in this job. Enthusiasm, transfer of enthusiasm, excitement. It is what you've got to have in spades. If you cannot get that across to people that you're excited about their property, you're excited about being at work, you're excited about making a call, you're excited about eating that shit sandwich, you've got to be excited about every single part of it. And that is what will change your day. And you can't not have it any day. Don't go to work, have a day off, because I would rather come to work with full of energy or say to the guys, I'm not feeling great today. I'm actually going to reschedule some of my appointments. I'm going to have a half day and then come back the next day and give it in spades, because that's what's going to get your clients excited, and your buyers excited, your staff excited, everything excited. So energy is the number one ingredient for this job. I think the big thing is having a really good circle, and circle of influence is, I'm a member of a golf club in Brisbane, and that golf club, there's a lot of lawyers, a lot of financial guys, a lot of people that have, weight in the industry, and I lean on them, and I seek their counsel a lot. I call a lot of them, I see, how are you guys trading? How's this happening? Mortgage brokers, banks. I think you've got to be, like, half of your calls a week should be to those 10 people of circle of influence in your life, or that you can reach out, go have coffee with them, go enjoy, get information from people. Don't just wait for Karl Stefanovic to say it on the news. You should have it before he's got it, and you should be the one giving it to people instead of Karl giving it to people, or bloody, what's that guy, Koshi. You've got to be the one that's giving those people information, because what's really empowering, or really powerful as well, is when you give someone some information, the next morning they wake up, they're talking to their wife about that night, and then they hear it on the news the next morning, but they heard it from you first. Guess who's the expert? You, not those people. So you've got to be the guy with that information. You've got to be the guy that's understanding, or the girl that's having that information and being on the forefront of market conditions before it hits the media. I think the biggest thing with this business, whether you're day one or day 10 years in, it is the transfer of enthusiasm at open homes on the phone is where you're going to get the most business. If you've got 2 open homes and you see 8 people at those open homes, you can get 1 listing out of those open homes because of the way you do that open and the way you project and the way you do it. So world-class open homes, cupcakes, coffees, newspapers. If you've only got 2 open homes on a Saturday, you've got heaps of time. You should be doing the best open home. Transfer of enthusiasm, getting people excited, selling the house, and not just having commission breath about how you're going to list their house. Actually selling the house you've already got listed and doing your job. And then people are going to go, wow, that agent was really good. He was asking me questions. He was telling me about the suburb. He knew where the schools were. He knew all that information about what sold down the road, how many square meters it is, the easements on the property. He knew everything about that home. Then he asked me at the end, great, if you'd love me to come have a look at yours next week and see where you probably think that one sits in the market, let me know. But subtly at the end, that's how you're going to get more business, purely by talking to people and actually doing your job and being really good at it. Negotiation is the most important part of this job. If you're not good at it, quit, because it is the most important part. There's always going to be a buyer that wants to buy at this level and a seller that wants to, obviously get as much as they can for the house. Don't blame them. Your job is to bridge that gap, and the way you do that and the way you talk to people and communication is everything. The giving people time, letting people, it is all an art form. Negotiation is literally an art form, and making people feel really comfortable, building a lot of rapport with people and trust, so that they actually, what you're talking about with value, so they aren't lowballing you. So when they throw you a low offer, go, mate, decline it. Sorry, buddy, you're way apart from this sold for this, that sold for that. Knowledge is everything. So the better you are at knowledge, the better you will be with your negotiation, even with sellers, because there's so many times I've got a really good offer, and I tell the buyer, I say, man, I just need you to give you a little bit more time with this offer, because it's a great offer. I just need a bit of time with the vendor. And at 8 o'clock at night, I'll ring the vendor. I'll say, look, guys, I'm going to send you through 6 sales. I want you to go and jump in your car. I want you to drive around, look at those houses. I want you to see where you think those houses compare to your house and where this offer sits, and how many deals I've got done just by that process. And I've done it the same with the buyer. I've said, mate, you haven't done your research. I want you to drive past these 2 houses. Then I want you to come back to me, and I want you to see where this sits. And it's just about knowledge. I think negotiation is not just about, pulling the wool over someone's eyes and selling for something as much as possible. A lot of the time it's literally about understanding, giving people facts and value to make them feel like they're not making a stupid decision. This business is very stressful, and you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, but the biggest advice I can give everyone, and I still practice this every week, is if I sell a house on a Monday, I don't celebrate it. If I lose a deal on a Tuesday, I don't commiserate it. And I try to, like, I've sold, $11 million house, it was $8 million house this week and that week. No matter what day of the week it is, I do not celebrate it. If I have a deal fall over for the same amount of money on a Thursday, I do not commiserate it. I just go home. I just do not change my routine. Routine's the most important thing for consistency. And then at the end of the week, on a Saturday afternoon, I go crack a beer and I go, look, I sold a house this week, I listed a house this week, great week. Even if I had 3 fall over or whatever happened, you just don't let it ruin your week, because that's what the peaks and troughs is, what will ruin your whole mental state. I think you've just got to have that consistency all week, and at the end of the week, you know, you go, well, had a great week, and then you have a beer with your mate or your partner, and you do it all again the next week. So consistency is key, and just not letting things affect you. I think if you're not an auction agent in real estate, I don't think you're going to be the best successful agent. Obviously, there's markets that aren't as good, but I think every agent should be able to be a good agent, should be an auction agent. It's just the education process, the days on markets for your vendors, everything is very good on it. And I think when we go into a listing, I like going into a listing talking to the vendor about with some comparable sales, and you say, look, both of us are on the same page here. We probably think it sits between here and here. It should be the agent and the vendor working together to get the most out of the market, rather than the agent walking in and promising a price. And that's where the auction process really takes care of that for you. And then giving that feedback to the vendor, and then hopefully competition makes the property get more than what they want. And this happens a lot. Like I've always been the eternal optimist in property, and that's what's built my business so well, is that I do get good prices, and I do overachieve that. Like I've literally listed a house the other week at, all the agents said should get $3 million. I said it will not stack at $3 million. I think it sits between 2.4 and 2.6 at the max. We're hoping for an offer at 2.6 today. If we can get some competition, we get it to 2.7. But we've been really clear with the vendor on how we get that, rather than listing it at $3 million and beating her down on price. We've actually got the listing off, actually showing her what actually property was. And that property's off market, it's not auction yet. If we were to take, they don't want to go to market, they're old, elderly. So I guess it's education, but being really transparent. They actually want an honest agent over one that's just going to blow smoke up their ass and tell them they're going to get $3 million when they're not. So yeah. Technology, Instagram, all of it is a massive part in this business. My business partner, Drew, who you'll interview on this thing as well, taught me everything I know with it, and it's changed in my business 100%. People, we've done it recently where we won't do a video, or we won't do a boost, or we won't do these things, and the buyers profiling and the numbers through open homes is probably 30 to 40% less. We did a campaign the other week where they didn't want to do this, they didn't want to do that, they cut it all out of the program. We were sitting there with, one good offer off market. I said to them, no, we need to do these things. We've done a great video. We boosted it through social media. We did that. We got 3 extra buyers through in a week. Pardon me, but it's insane the amount of interest you'll get if you focus on these things. Instagram's such a beast of this business. Having a following, having a massive presence in that market on Instagram, boosting your posts and spending money out of your own pocket as well as your vendors, not just vendor paid marketing. You've got to be promoting your business through Instagram, Facebook, everything. It's a must have for our business and all of our staff.